Okay, everyone. So in this next lesson, I just want to give you a little bit of background with the interface of Inkscape. So we can see here the Tools control bar. We have the menu bar that contains a File tab, Edit tab, View tab, Layer tab, Object, Path text, Filters, Extensions, and the Help tab here. Then we have rulers on the side, on the left side, on the top. Then we have the toolbox here. We have the status bar at the bottom. Then we have here the color palette or palette. So we can see here different colors, specifically if we ever select an object here. Let's say I go and click on the rectangle or square. Here you would see that this will have a color based from the last color that you have selected or used or by default. So you can go and change that once you use the color palette here or palette. Then we also have here the commands bar. You would see here the new, create new document, open an existing document, save a document. We also have here the snap controls bar. We have the snap control bar here, snap nodes, paths, and handles. And we have the docking area. So if we would want to go and go to our, where is that? Docking area. Let's go and open the fill and stroke here. You would see that we were able to open one dock here or a dialog. So you can go and minimize that. Click on that and you would see that we have our docking area here. You would see here that if I go and click outside of the object that we've just created, it shows us here an empty docking area for fill and stroke. So we have object properties if you want to specify the properties of the object. So you would see that we can minimize this, and we have some tabs for our dock here. So that's the basic interface, everyone. And let me just close our docs here, and we can also go and set our properties here, document properties, specify the display units. It can be in millimeter. We can show the, or we can remove the page border. Let me just go back here. But I prefer working with the page border, but if ever you don't want to work with the page border, you can go and remove that. But for me, because sometimes I get lost when I'm working with the objects when I remove the page border, so I prefer it to be showing up on the screen. So other things here, let's set this to pixels. Okay, so at least we can go and have that set into display units of pixels. So that's the interface, everyone. And we have here some tools here. So we have the select tool here. I can go and click on the object. Now that it's selected, I can actually go and zoom in by using the, you will see here I'm pressing on I click on the object, then I press on the control key. You would see that it's allowing me to zoom in, zoom out. Then if I click on the white space here and I press on and I use the scroll button, you will see it's scrolling vertically up and down. Then if I want to move left and right, I'll just press on the shift key and then the scroll button. It will be allowing me to move around the canvas, the white canvas that we have here. So we also have an option here to go and zoom to fit selection in window. If I go and select this object and zoom, so I can work on the object that I'm working on. And again, I'm pressing on control key to zoom out so that I can see the whole screen. And I can double click here. Let me just go back here. Double click here and I can rotate this. Once I double click the object, I can also go and resize it. Okay, so you will see that the arrows are changing. So this will be allowing us to rotate the object. I can even move the cross sign here. Let me just zoom in. So you would see that's our cross sign. That's where we can now rotate the object. We can even move that out. You would see we can rotate the object that way. Okay, so but by default it goes to the center. It's on the center. Then let me just go and bring this back to our position here. We can also set the height and the width here using the tools control bar. I can specify here, instead of pixels, I can go and specify inches. So let's say I would want this to be 2 inches by 2 inches, the aspect ratio. If I want it to be specifically 2 inches, I can just go and remove the lock command button here. So change both width and height by the same proportion, because we would want to specifically specify the proportion of the aspect ratio of the square that we have here. So you will see it's now perfectly 2 by 2 inches. So we are also going to be working with layers here, guys. So you will see we have some options here to switch to layer above, switch to layer below. So if I go and create another object here with a different color. Okay, let me just select this one again, then change the color here. Okay, we will be working with layers here. So you will see we have the first layer. Let me just go create another one. Okay, let's select that again, and another one. So you would see that we will be working with layers here, guys. Let me just, so if this first object that is on top, we would want to move it. We have some options here to lower selection one step, page down, another down. Let's increase the size of this so this we can see it. Mhm. So you would see that these are set of layers also, guys. Let me just show you here. So we are working with a stack of layers here. So you would see now it's at the back of the brown colored object here. If I move it, you would see. Now if I go on top, it's currently on top of the green square here. If I move one selection page down, and again, it's now at the last or at the bottom part of the objects that we have here. If I move it, reselection one step, one step, one step. Okay, one step page down, page down, page down. I can move to the top, I can move to the bottom, depending on the character that you're building or the assets that you're building, you're working on. This will be very useful, especially if you're making some game assets. So that will be all for this session, guys. I'm hoping that you're now more familiar with the interface of Inkscape, and we'll be using this for creating game assets. You can use this for creating logos, icons. So I'm hoping that this will be helping you out in your future projects, and try to play around with it, guys, so at least you will be able to familiarize yourself on how to maximize the use of the open source software Inkscape. So thank you, everyone, and see you on our next lessons.